So today we're reviewing
Rambo, The Last Blood.
So this review is very late, not for any particular reason. It's really just
We saw this movie opening weekend for the
Yeah.
film. We just haven't got around to reviewing it yet.
Yeah, there's really no reason why this is late. I've been coming down with a cold, but that's
And,
No,
I,
it's not a-
and I have no time.
Yeah,
And,
I did time.
but we saw this movie on Sunday of opening weekend, so we saw this like 2 days after it came out or 2 days after releasing. So
yeah. So what are your initial
we were
thoughts?
excited for this movie. I was pleasantly surprised, and I enjoyed this movie a lot. I have actually I have no negatives at all for the film really. I'll get into my maybe one negative later, but overall, this was a great film to me, and I got what I wanted from a Rambo movie. Is a big time fan of definitely the first Rambo, or at least Rambo First Blood. That's probably my favorite Rambo still at this point. But this was a really great movie, great story, great characters, great film.
Yeah, I agree. I was definitely really excited for this movie, and because Rambo, the first one's a classic, and so it doesn't live up to that obviously because it's kind of impossible.
Yeah, it's
That's
just,
a
the
part-
characters
that's such
are
a
hard
great
to match.
movie.
There's so many great characters in that film with obviously Rambo. Then you got some of the cops. I mean, it's hard to top.
Yeah, but I mean, it's definitely. I was definitely happy walking down the stairs. Very short movie for sure.
Yeah, that's something later.
Yeah, something we had to address it up front because this is what everyone is gonna think as soon as they look at a movie review. Because the critics slammed this movie, and
Yeah, I don't
it was
understand.
claimed because it was racist because the bad guys were Mexican. But let's take a trip down memory lane to the original Rambo. I believe all the bad guys in that were white and actually cops. So
And,
would anyone have a problem with that? That they were making cops and white males look
How
bad?
about
I don't
John
think so.
Wick?
Well, okay, but I'm not even going into a long list of things. But I'm just saying, literally in this series, the perfect movie everyone agrees is perfect. The bad guys are the white males, and they're even cops, so it makes cops look bad.
But
obviously, no one thinks about it. There's good cops, bad cops. I mean, it's just
but
it's not what people think about.
even if you're gonna say that's what you're saying about this, the Rambo The Last Blood, there's as far as I'm concerned, two of the main characters of the film that we're rooting for are Mexican too. His daughter, his daughter that is basically his daughter is Mexican, and I guess the mom who kind of raised. I don't know if that was his wife or that was I don't know really who this was. I think he kind of helped raise her because I think the storyline was this girl got kind of just given up as a child, and then they ended up raising her from like the age of like 8 to like basically where this movie picks up, where she's like going to college. I'm pretty sure, and she's growing up a little bit, and that's kind of the storyline. But yeah, but they're all Mexican. And obviously Rambo's the only. I'm pretty sure Rambo's the only white person in this film. It's not anything against Mexico. I mean, all it is just it's unfortunately telling a true fact about this world, that there is human sex trafficking, and it's not just Mexico, but that's one place that it's going on.
The basic point
it was not
is,
against. It was a good story.
Well, the basic point is people saying that this movie is racist because the bad guys are Mexicans. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like I just said, the first Rambo. We think that's a great movie, and the bad guys are white. It's just ridiculous, and that's just in the same series. So that point is just so invalid. So, that's really I really do not look at these things I go in these movies, but it's ridiculous.
My favorite scene ever, and I saw this movie not too long ago, is John Wick chasing a white guy in a flipping club scene to music. I love that scene. Because when we watch films, we don't look at it from the race perspective. We just look at it from like a good character standpoint, good storyline standpoint, good movie boss shot standpoint. I don't care who it is, but like we don't care who the villains are. Like as long as the villains are bad and the good guys are good, that's what makes the movie so good. Because like I'm gonna say the villains in this film did a great job because they were so like annoying, like bad characters in this film, just like Taken and this or John Wick. They're supposed to make you like really mad, like you want to like kill him yourself because you're like this is horrible. Like there's some really good scenes, not good, but like some scenes of the Mexican that has like all these girls in like his like cellar type place. He was so annoying. Like this guy is freaking so bad and so frustrating. And the villains did a great job in this film. They were really annoying, and them being really annoying pays off in the end when Rambo's doing his thing and he's taking people out. That's what people don't understand. Like I loved everything about this movie. Like the action I thought was great. There's some awesome, really unique kill scenes that I hadn't
Great
seen before in
callbacks,
films. Yeah, there's some callbacks, but also some new things. I really, really loved the setting of the tunnels that he had at his like farm. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
Set up for some really good scenes at the end. And once again, I thought the storyline was great. I felt for his daughter character. I felt for that whole relationship. And when they pulled something I didn't expect, I was like, wow. I was kind of shocked, but at the same time, I thought something had to happen to like kind of make the end make sense. But yeah, so that's as far as positives. Like
you didn't spoil it, right?
No, I said like I haven't talked about it yet,
Yeah,
but.
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, one thing happened that had to happen.
Oh, I know. There's definitely shocking moments.
So, yeah, so the characters, action, story, there was pacing was great. I mean, I thought it was. I mean, people said it was too fast. I'm fine with movies like that because I'd rather it be just perfect or too fast than be too slow.
Yeah, don't waste your time.
Yeah, because like I mean, it gets right into it. Like this is, it gets right into it for the most part. I mean, there's a little thing in the beginning, I guess, but there needs to be a little setup for the storyline. But yeah, Rambo did Sylvester Stallone did great, and
Arnold Schwarzenegger approves in this movie.
There's some scenes and lines that were great that we'll get into really quick at the end, but yeah, I really love this film.
Yeah, I agree. The action was good. It was the things that happened in this movie were very shocking. There's certain thing that happened, like you said, in the middle that I was very shocked, and there's definitely great acting all around, and it's definitely a movie where. It really gets to you. It really gets you annoyed, and then it's like, okay, something needs to happen here.
Yep.
And it's very successful.
Just like Taken, John Wick.
Yeah, just like Taken. And yeah, watching this movie, I mean, there is definitely some great action, and I just think that obviously this movie was bashed for ridiculous reasons, and I mean, I wasn't watching this movie saying, "Oh, great, there's Mexicans being killed." It's ridiculous. It's just like
in
the
Rambo.
original
Yeah.
Rambo.
It's not about, I don't care who he's killing.
Yeah, it's utterly ridiculous, but. I definitely thought this movie was good. Like I said, I didn't think it was great to perfect, but I definitely thought it was good.
Yeah.
And so that's why that just doesn't influence my opinion. Rotten Tomatoes isn't valid to me at all anymore, so that doesn't influence me at all.
Yeah, my only negative, I was going to say, it kind of goes to it was really, really quick, which I think being so fast, it might have taken a little bit out, like, because it gets, like, when it gets to that final sequence, I was like, man, we're already to this point, like, I thought there'd be some filler scene where he goes to talk to someone else, but it just gets right into it, and while that might be kind of positive for me, too, that's my only negatives. I think it might have been a little too quick, possibly, so,
yeah,
that's really it for me, and then maybe one character decision that I thought Rambo wouldn't do from a character standpoint, but other than that, they really honored this character, I think, and they didn't F him up like another character from Star Wars universe where he doesn't act anything like his younger self. Like, I thought Rambo looked like obviously he's older, but he looked like it was his original character evolved into an older character, but then his younger self comes back out of him there towards the end.
That was the thing. I definitely thought it was a more hardened character. Especially, I just feel like he's at a certain point where even in the beginning of this movie, he's just like so flipping determined, and especially towards the end, for a certain reason, he is just done. Like a certain scene, I think going into in spoilers, but like he is so brutal and effective, and it's just to a whole new level that he's just like does not give an F.
It honors who his character is. Like, I mean, his character from the first one, when the cop said, "You need to walk this way," and then the cop turns around, and he's supposed to walk back immediately the way he said don't walk to. And if he would have just waited 2 seconds, the cop would have been gone. He could have just walked then when he wasn't looking. He was still walking and he still was there. Yeah. Like, it honors his character. Just like there's other movies like Star Wars. I'm sorry we keep bringing it up, but I mean, they're not treating these characters from the originals like they should for the most part. And they honor Rambo perfectly, I'm pretty sure. And it ends. I mean, it's a perfect movie in this universe. Like there's such a cool thing at the end that kind of recaps all the other ones, and just really, it does what a sequel to an older, previous like loved film does. Like it amplifies that thing that we loved and just honors everything perfectly. And I thought it did a great job. And there's nothing that really did nothing that it did everything I thought they were going to do, and I was hoping for.
Yeah, I guess one not really negative, although I wouldn't go into negatives. It's basically something to address the gore. People were saying it was way too gory, which I said, I don't think it was way too gory, but like I said, I'm not trying to act like there shouldn't be any gore, but I'm saying there doesn't have to be. There are some brutal
I
scenes
think it was too gory.
I couldn't look at the screen like it was that bad. But I've seen a lot of bad stuff, and I just know that I'm not really complaining at all that there was gore. But I'm saying that I didn't need to see as much as we did. But I mean, there's a certain point where I don't really find it as a big issue, but I agree that they didn't need to be that gory. But I mean, the movie didn't need to be made. Nothing has to be made. But I think that the gore isn't really that big of a problem to me. But I had to address it.
I mean, I can see if someone has a problem with that. For me, I've seen a lot of movies that have some really disgusting, like bloody scenes. Like when it comes to Saw or 300 or Hostel movies. Like there's some disgusting stuff there that I can't watch. This one I could watch basically 99% of it, except for maybe one scene, which I watched it. And it wasn't as gruesome as they could have done it. There's some things that they could have. I mean, I've seen some really disgusting things on movies, and this didn't get to that level to me. It was still pretty gory for the most part, but it wasn't nowhere near the higher gore films that you like I just said. Yeah. Let's just get into our scores here. Like I said, I really love this film. I love the first Rambo. I love Rambo First Blood, and Rambo Last Blood follows through. Gives me a great story, great characters, and I loved everything about this. And once again, a 10 out of 10 for me isn't like a perfect score, because obviously there's no such thing as a perfect movie. But to me, just like I gave a lot of movies I like Jurassic World's 10 out of 10 stuff. I'm gonna have to give Rambo Last Blood a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, so I'm really thinking about this. I'm going to see this movie again. So clearly I loved it. I mean, I really liked this movie. It was effective. It has great acting. I love the Rambo character in general. And Sylvester Stallone is just amazing. I mean, he embodies the character. There's some great callbacks and stuff that I can only go over in spoilers. So if I had to grade this, like I said, it's not a perfect movie. It didn't blow me away, but I was definitely happy walking out of this. And it's definitely a good film. I'm going to see it again. If I go to see it again, it's got to be really good. So I'd have to give this, I'll probably give it a 9.5.
That's still pretty good.
Which is pretty good. I mean, I'm going to see this movie again in a couple of days, and I definitely really liked it. And this movie definitely doesn't deserve the hate it got, and it's just ridiculous.
And I agree with Tyrone Magnus out there. If you're watching this, that was a great score on that movie, and I echo that with double that, 10 out of 10 with our rating. And
I just have to say this again. If anyone really thinks we're giving this a good grade or love this movie because Mexicans were the bad guys, literally the first Rambo, we give a 10 out of 10. And it's white males and it's cops. Two different centers being ripped. I know we should have. So if you want to think that, well, that doesn't really follow your narrative there. So
I gave it a 10 out of 10. Kenny gave it a 9.5 out of 10. And if you want to stick around for a little spoiler section at the end, we'll talk about some like minor things really quick. And if you don't want to, it's okay. Thanks for watching this point of the video. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.